Today we'll be starting with population genetics. So before entering into the main matter or the crux of population genetics, we need to have certain concepts. The first concept is that we need to understand what is a genotypic frequency and what is allelic frequency. But prior to that, we need to have an idea about what is a gene pool. So this is a story of 16 frogs in a pond. And you can see that there are two alleles in this population that we will be now concentrating on. So there is a capital A allele and there is a small a allele. Now, in this pond, there are 16 frogs. Of these 16 frogs, some have capital A allele, some have capital A small a combination, and some have small a. So at the start, we should keep in mind that capital A is dominant to small a. This is one point to be kept in mind. The number of frogs are 16. So the first concept that we need to develop is what is a gene pool when we have a condition like this. So as you can see, I've given this definition. This is from Griffith's book. The gene pool is sum total of all the alleles in the breeding members of a population at a given time. So as the definition says, I again lost my cursor. As the definition says that it is the sum total of all the alleles in the breeding member of a population at a given time. So we have 16 frogs here. Each frog contains two alleles. They may be capital A, they may be capital A, they can be small a, but each frog contains two alleles in any combination. So if there are 16 frogs and if each frog contains two alleles, be it capital A, combination or capital A combination or small a combination. So we can say that of this total 16 frogs, each frog carrying two alleles. So the total number of alleles present here is 32. So for this given picture that is being shown here, we are having 32 alleles. So for this particular gene, we can say that there are 32 alleles. So every organism has number of genes. I have brought a situation where I'm describing the scenario with respect to one gene and its two allelic variant. So when we talk about gene pool, it is the sum total of all the alleles in the breeding members of a given time. So if I consider gene A, then sum total of all the alleles. So if we have 16 individuals, then we are having 32 alleles present here. Of these 32 alleles, now if you look into this picture, of these 32 alleles, as you can see, we have 5 genotypes which are homozygotes. So let's mark them. So 1, 2, we have 3, 4, and 5. So these are homozygotes for the gene A, both having a copy of capital A. Next, we have 8 heterozygotes. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there are 8 frogs which are heterozygotes. And finally, we have 2 small a, 3 individuals which is homozygote recessive. So we have this individuals is 1, 2, 3. So all total, we are having here 16 individuals, as you can see. Now, the next concept that develops is that if there are 16 individuals, then what is the genotypic frequency of capital A individuals, capital A small a individuals, and small a individuals? A simple calculation will be that the genotypic frequency of capital A individuals will be the number of individuals present in that genotype divided by the total. It's 5 by 16. For the heterozygotes capital A small a, again, the number of individuals of that genotype divided by total. That will be the genotypic frequency of the heterozygotes. And for small a, the genotypic frequency will be the number of individuals in that genotype divided by the total. So this gives us the genotypic frequency of the population. We have started with a more small population, and here there are 16 individuals once more. There are total 32 alleles. So this 32 alleles describes the gene pool of this population because we're concentrating on one gene and we are concentrating on the 16 individuals. Next, what we did, the next part was to understand the genotypic frequency. How did we do that? We calculate the individual number of each genotype and divide it by the total number of individuals, and we get the genotypic frequency. So let's see that. So if we look once more into the picture, as I showed you, so there are, just a second. There were 5 AA individuals. There were 5 AA individuals. So the genotypic frequency of AA individuals will be 5 divided by the total number of individuals in the population, and that is 0.31. There were 8 capital A small a individuals, and just now as I showed, the genotypic frequency of the capital A small a individuals will be 8 by 16, and that's 0.5. And we have 3 small a individuals. The genotypic frequency of the small a individuals would be 3 by 16 or 0.19. Keep it in mind that for a given gene, when we calculate the genotypic frequencies, the value of a frequency should always lie between 0 to 1. And when we add up the number of, the genotypic frequencies of the individuals of the population for a particular gene, the total should always be 1. So this is something to be kept in mind. The value of genotypic frequency for each individual genotype for a given gene should be between 0 to 1. And again, when we add up the individual genotypic frequency for a given gene, that will add up to 1. So that was the first part where we developed the concept of genotypic frequency. Now we need to have the concept of allelic frequency. So as I said, the story started with 16 individuals. So there were 16 frogs, and the 16 frogs, each frog carried 2 alleles. So the total number of alleles were 32. Now, if I calculate the capital A allele, if you remember, there are 5 individuals, each having 2 capital A alleles. So each has 2 capital A alleles. So how many alleles are present for capital A? In these 5 individuals, 5 into 2, that is 10. Because each individual is carrying 2 capital A alleles, and there are 5 individuals. So in total, we have 10 capital A alleles. Now let's see the next part. This is the heterozygote. This is the heterozygote part. In the heterozygote, we are seeing one capital A allele. So there is only one capital A allele. So 8 individuals will contribute to 8 capital A allele. And finally, we have total. First, let us calculate total capital A allele. Now, if we add up the total number of capital A allele, that becomes 18. If you go for a simple allele count, you will see you will be getting 18 alleles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let us first do the homozygotes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Plus now the heterozygotes. So 10 for the homozygotes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have 18 capital A alleles. So that is it. So I've written here there are 18 capital A alleles in this small population. Now let us calculate how many small A alleles are there. Now if you simply just calculate the number of small A alleles, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have 3 individuals. Each individual is contributing to 2 capital A allele. So 6 capital A allele from the homozygotes. And there were 8 heterozygotes. Each contributed to 1 capital A allele. So there are 8 small A alleles from the heterozygotes. 8 heterozygotes each contributed to 1 small A allele. So we get 8 small A allele from the heterozygotes. So if we add the value, 8 small A allele from the heterozygotes plus 6 small A allele from the homozygotes, we get a total of 14 alleles. We get a total of 14 alleles. Now, if we add the total number of alleles, that is 32. If you remember, there are 16 individuals, each individual contributing to 2 alleles. So, in that way also, we can get the total number of alleles present in a population, that is 32. Now, sorry, this should be allelic frequency. I have written it wrong. This is a typological error. Now, let us calculate the allelic frequency. This should be allelic frequency. Instead of genotypic frequency, keep it in mind, this should be allelic frequency. Now, when we calculate the allelic frequency, the basic concept is same. The individual number of alleles of capital A divided by the total number of alleles present in the population, that is 0.56. And the individual number of alleles for small a divided by the total number of alleles present in the population, that is 32, that is 0.44. So keep this in mind also, that for a given gene, if there are 2 alleles, the frequency of the 2 alleles will also add up to give you 1. And the allelic frequency should also fall between 0 to 1. So this is how we calculate for a given population the genotypic frequency from the number of individuals present in the population and the allelic frequency from the number of alleles present in the population. So when we are, as I gathered that you people are now thorough with how to calculate allelic frequency and genotypic frequency. Now, when I started this class, this was a very small population and the individual number is only 16. Okay. But when we talk about larger populations, it becomes difficult simply to count and calculate. For genotypic frequency, it is easier. Calculate the number of homozygotes, dominant, calculate the number of heterozygotes, again calculate the number of recessive homozygotes, and then divide by the total number of individuals. So calculating genotypic frequency is not that difficult. But for larger populations, if we follow the method of allelic count, that is not possible. That is not at all possible. Then how come we convert this? I showed you that how the allelic frequency calculation was done by simply what we did for the homozygotes. How did we get this allelic frequency? If you remember, 5 into 2. Okay, so I've again lost this cursor. Just a second. So for the homozygotes, we got the allelic frequency by simply multiplying the number of individuals in the homozygotes into 2. For heterozygotes, we took that single value because there is only one allele of each category. And again, for the homozygotes, we follow the same policy. So the best thing is that if we could convert the calculation of allelic frequency to a simple formula. The way we calculated the allelic frequency, if we could convert it into a formula, it becomes easier to calculate the allelic frequency for a given population when the number of individuals is large. So how do we do that? Now I am converting this data into a formula. So what we did, this is what I had said, in fact, while doing it, that calculating allelic frequencies, formula 1, when you have the number of individuals given. In this particular example that we started off with, the number of individuals is given. We have capital A 5, we have small a capital A 8, and we have small a 3. So what we do, how do we convert the data into a formula for calculating allelic frequency? You see here, for the calculation of the allelic frequency of capital A, what we did, 2 into the number of dominant heterozygotes. So 2 into 5, see 2 into 5 plus the number of heterozygotes only. So that was 8 divided by 2 into total number of individuals. So the total number of individuals is 16 to 2 into 16, that is 32. And we have 18, so we get 0.56. Similarly, when we go for the recessive data, 2 into the number of recessive homozygotes. So we have 3 individuals of the recessive category, 2 into 3, that's 6, plus the number of heterozygotes, that is 8. So it's 8, 6, 14, divided by the total number of individuals, 14 by 32, that's 0.44. So this is the first formula of calculating allelic frequency when it is given that how many individuals are present in capital A under capital A, how many individuals are present under capital A, small a, and how many individuals are present under small a, small a. So this was the first formula. As I said, there are 2 formulas to calculate the allelic frequency. This is the first formula when the number of individuals is given for a given genotype. Next, if the genotypic frequency is given, the number of individuals is not given, and in the population, you start with the data which gives you the genotypic frequency. So you see here, we had calculated the genotypic frequency. Imagine that the number of individuals is not given, a genotypic frequency is rather given. So your starting data is this one. So you have genotypic frequency of capital A 0.31, genotypic frequency of capital A small is 0.5, and small a 0.9. You do not have this data with you. You have rather this data with you. So this is your starting data. So when you have a starting data like this with you, how do you calculate the allelic frequency? So the second formula is to calculate the allelic frequency from the genotypic frequency. So in this case, we calculate the allelic frequency of A. How do we calculate it? So it's capital A, the number of homozygotes plus half of the number of heterozygotes. Sorry, I shouldn't say number. Let me rephrase it once more. The genotypic frequency of the homozygotes plus half of the genotypic frequency of the heterozygotes. So the genotypic frequency of the homozygotes 0.31, half of the genotypic frequency of the heterozygotes, that is 0.25. You add up, you get 0.56. Now, if we talk about the recessive allele, sorry, this should be small a. If we talk about the recessive allele, then we have the genotypic frequency of the recessive allele plus half of the genotypic frequency of the heterozygotes, and we have 0.19 and 0.25. This is 0.4. So there are two ways of calculating the allelic frequency. One is when the number of individuals is given to you, and the second when your starting data is that you have genotypic frequency of the individuals present. Now, when we talk about mathematical calculations in population genetics, just keep in mind that we have a capital A, that is a dominant allele, and a small a, that is a recessive allele for a given gene. The capital A is represented by P for mathematical calculations, and the small a is represented by Q. As I said, the allelic frequency of the total two alleles should always add up to 1. So from this, we can write that P plus Q is equal to 1. So this is how the denotion of the alleles are done. So the dominant allele is represented as P, the recessive allele is represented as Q. And at the start, I said the allele frequencies in a population, in a given population, should always add up to 1. In this population, we are having two alleles, capital A and small a. So capital A is P, small a is Q. So we add it up, and in terms of mathematical derivation, we write it as P plus Q is equal to 1. There is another important point I'd like to point it out here is that, so if capital A is your P and if small a is your Q, then when we write the genotypic frequencies of capital A, if capital A is P and then we are having P square. Okay. If small a is Q, then we have Q square. Capital A, small a is PQ. We have twice of PQ. How do we come to twice of PQ? I'm coming to that. I'm showing you to you by a simple checkerboard being drawn here. Okay. So we have sperms on this side and eggs on this side. Okay. As I said, capital A, P, small a, Q. Similarly, here we write sperms, capital A, P. This is something you people had done in same for the checkerboard, and small a, Q. Okay. Now we just, the egg and sperm are fusing to produce zygote. The first zygote is capital A, multiply it, capital A, capital A. So in terms of P and Q, we will be writing it as P square. Now we have a capital A egg and a small a sperm. So we write it as A, capital A, small a, and we write it as P, Q. Okay. Now we have a small a egg and a capital A sperm. So we write it again as capital A, small a. And in terms of P and Q, we write it as P, Q. And finally, we have small a egg and a small a sperm. So we write it as A, and in terms of P and Q, we write it as Q square. So what are the three genotypes we are getting? We are getting a capital A, capital A. From the checkerboard I showed you, it's written as P square. We are getting two capital A, small a. One is capital A egg and small a sperm, and the other is capital A sperm and small a egg. So both are heterozygotes. Genotypically, they are same. So we write it as, we are getting 2P and PQ. So we write it as 2PQ. And finally, we are getting a small a. So we write it as small a. And in terms of P and Q, how do we write it? Q square. Okay. So when I am talking about genotypic frequencies, the genotypic frequencies of the dominant allele is represented, as I showed you in this, as P square, the heterozygotes as 2PQ, and the homozygotes as Q square. So we have P square, we have 2PQ, and we have Q square. For this given problem, P square is 0.31, 2PQ is 0.5, and Q square is 0.19. Keep it in mind that P square denotes the genotypic frequency of capital A. 2PQ denotes the genotypic frequency of capital A, small a, and Q square denotes the genotypic frequency of small a. Now, if I use these symbols and represent and now rewrite this formula, this is a formula, I can write it as the frequency of capital A, or P, is P square plus half of 2PQ. So this is how I symbolize the formula, right? So P square plus half of 2PQ when we are calculating the frequency of P, and when we are calculating the frequency of Q, we write it as Q square. So we write it as Q square plus half of 2PQ. So that is how this formula is written. So the simplest way of calculating allelic frequency from a given genotypic frequency is simple. For P, P square plus half of 2PQ. For Q, Q square plus half of 2PQ. Another point you can keep it in mind is that, say for a given problem, just a second, for a given problem, this data is not given to you. Sorry. This data is not given to you. You have the data of the number of individuals, but you want to use this formula. So what you do, from the data of the individual, you calculate the genotypic frequencies that can be easily calculated as it is shown here. So from this data, you first calculate the genotypic frequencies. And from this genotypic frequencies, now you can get your allelic frequency by using the formula P is equal to P square plus half of 2PQ and Q is equal to Q square plus half of 2PQ. So if we are thorough with how to calculate the basics, genotypic frequency and the allelic frequency, now let's go for a problem, a very simple problem. This one I've shown. Just a second, it's got hand. Wow. Let me move. So a very basic problem, but prior to showing you the problem, this is just recapitulation of what we did. There are two ways of calculating the allele frequency. The first is when the number of individuals is given. So 2 into number of dominant homozygotes plus number of heterozygotes divided by 2 into total number of individuals. When you calculate in this manner, remember, you do not use that P is equal to P square plus half of 2PQ because you are calculating the individual allele, you are calculating the allele frequency from the number of individuals. But when we think of using the genotypic frequency for calculating the allele frequency, we simply use this formula. To use this formula, remember our data, our starting data should be genotypic frequencies. So keep this thing in mind. And just one, let me do one example with you today. See, so there is this data given. There is a group of individuals who are having the MM allele. So there are two alleles in the system, the M and the N. Now let us imagine M is P and N is Q. So in a very small table, you can do that. It is very neat, clean, and it looks prim and pram. So we have, this is the individual number of individuals. See, it's genotypes written. So we have 84.5 mm individuals, 14.4 mn individuals, and 1.1 nn individuals. So the total number of individuals is 100. So this is my starting data. What do? I want to use the formula p square plus half of 2pq and q square plus half of 2pq. To use the formula, the first step is that I convert the individual value to genotypic frequency. So I divide this individual with 100 and I get a genotypic frequency of 0.845. That is my p square. I divide the individual 14.4 with 100 and I get a genotypic frequency of 2pq. And I divide the 1.1 value with 100 and I get a frequency of 0.11, that is q square. And if you add this up, this will add up to 1. Because the individual genotypic frequencies in a population for a given gene should also add up to 1. So the genotypic frequency should add up to 1. The allelic frequency should add up to 1. Keep that in mind. Now, from this p square, 2pq and q square, which I've worked out, I now calculate the allele or the gene frequency for M. I simply use the formula. As you can see, this is my p square plus half of 2pq, and I get a value of 0.917. And in the next one, I calculate again q square plus half of 2pq, and I get a value of, as you can see, I get a value of 0.83. Now, if you add these two up, this will also give you 1. So remember, p plus q is equal to 1. This is with respect to allelic frequency. If we now square both sides, just simple algebraic in a manner, if we square both sides, what do we get? At times this machine is hanging, and if you square both sides, the formula now becomes p square plus 2pq plus q square is equal to 1. So this is a rule that you should keep in mind. The allelic frequency for a given gene should add up to 1. The genotypic frequencies for a given gene should also add up to 1. So now let's do a very simple problem. I have brought up a very simple problem for you people. So you now, I'm giving you some time and you calculate me out the genotypic frequencies first. And from your genotypic frequency calculation, you calculate the value of P and Q. So I've given you this problem to calculate and most of you have done it right. So this is just, when you do your problem, do it in an organized table. It looks neat, as I said, and organized. So all of you have done it correctly. The first step was obviously calculating the genotypic frequency. It's 400 by 1000, 400 by 1000, 200 by 1000. So that was your p square, 2pq, q square. And from this p square and 2pq, you first calculated P, since you have got the data right. So P square plus half of 2PQ. That gives 0.6, which is the allelic frequency of N. And for N, what you did, you use the value of Q square plus half of 2PQ, and you got the value of 0.4. So for today, we'll stop here. So this was the basics of how to calculate allelic frequency and genotypic frequency.